3 months ago, I did a video for Owlcat Games, geeking out over Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, a fantastic turn-based RPG that is very much beloved by its community and everybody that has played it. And now, Owlcat has reached out to me yet again and has asked me another question. They said, Nixxiom, do you maybe want to check out the newest RPG that we're going to be publishing, being developed by the studio Another Angle Games? A game called Shadow of the Road, a feudal Japan samurai turn-based RPG with some twists in terms of the assumed lore and world building? You'll all see what I'm talking about here in a minute. Well, considering that this team is very well known for publishing RPGs with excellent writing and characters and really immersive worlds, and the fact that I'm currently reading Shogun behind the scenes, I figured, okay, why not? So thank you, Owlcat, and the team over at Another Angle for sponsoring yet another video on this channel. I am very much looking forward to forcing many of my foes to commit Sudoku for having failed to defeat me in battle. Keep in mind though, everybody, that seeing as Shadow of the Road is currently in a demo mode, this video is not meant to be like a final review or anything of that sort of this game, as much is still subject to change. Rather, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share with you all my experiences having played the demo, tell you all what happened, and then I will share my thoughts on the adventure at the end of this video. So one installation on Steam later, another hopefully awesome RPG to be played. So the story of this game revolves around a conflict that exists between the Emperor of Japan and the Shogun, who is the head of the Japanese military. Now the Shogun, he has amassed too much power apparently to himself. The Emperor is now doing very questionable things, such as disregarding his role as being a conduit for the kami, and now an open war is spreading across the land. And it doesn't help either that Japan is also now being visited by Gaijin, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, foreigners who bring their strange technology to the battle on the side of the Emperor, who believes in ruthless progress into the future. And by technology, here we go, I mean like steampunk tech. Guns and bullets and flamethrowers and even giant laser scorpion mechanical horrors along with exoskeleton battle suits. Luckily though, for the Shogun, he seems to have the superior numbers and his men are very fiercely loyal to him even unto death. But because the Shogun and his friends are loyal to tradition, well, at least to my understanding of the game, they are mostly just fighting with swords. So yeah, this is likely going to be a pretty one-sided fight unless we figure out something quickly. Okay, so this is where our demo truly begins, the gameplay. Shadow of the Road, it starts off by following these two disgraced Ronin who are drinking in a sake lounge. Now together, the two of them lament their former master, who was a servant of the Shogun, as well as the fact that they are now samurai without anybody to follow because their master has been killed. So AKA they are Ronin. The devs really wanted to pull you into Japanese culture, and so a lot of words that you encounter in dialogue in this game, well, you might not be familiar with it. But luckily though, you can hover your mouse over these terms and you can learn more about their meaning. And this is a great way of introducing people unfamiliar with Japan to a bit of their vocabulary and culture. It really serves well for the world building and immersive quality. But anyway, I like stuff like that, so I just wanted to geek out about that for 1 second. Suddenly, our two heroes, they were drinking, and then they're interrupted by this samurai from a rival clan that follows the corrupt emperor. And the two of you, well, you're attached to the Shogun through your former master, and it doesn't help that you're Ronin as well. So this samurai, along with his filthy, disgusting foreign friends with their guns, they're gonna take you both down. What follows is, of course, the masterful RPG combat design, which some of you maybe are very familiar with from games like Rogue Trader. Shadow of the Road is a turn-based RPG. You have all your special abilities located at the bottom of the screen. Each character in your party has different roles and skills that they can perform, and you can even use terrain to your advantage in this game. So you can hide behind cover, you could destroy cover. Later on in the demo, you'll see that enemies are lighting things on fire. I very, very much enjoy turn-based RPG mechanics when they're done well. This quick battle serves as the tutorial, teaching the basics of the game, as well as introducing us to a bit of the firearm element that we were teased with in the opening cutscene. People can shoot you for a lot of damage, but you gotta reload those guns, and during this battle, something kind of strange happens. Right when the samurai that came to kill you is about to escape after you've completely kicked his ass, suddenly a stranger enters the frame whose hand is lit up by some form of strange magic. Swords appear, blocking the exit of the building, and our enemy is forced down onto his knees to beg for his life. So apparently, there's magic in this game too. We get guns and magic in a samurai game, and that is... it's either gonna work or it's not gonna work, okay? So our enemy, who is kneeling in defeat, he presents us the option to either spare him or to behead him, as fitting a defeated samurai in battle. Now, naturally, being the honorable warrior that I am, just like in real life, I cut the dude's head off. If I'm gonna play a samurai game, guys, I'm gonna be as honorable and traditional as possible. Like that's just me, personally, you know? I really wanna get into that, you know, role play of the disgraced Ronin trying to win his honor back. Okay, so we learned the identity of this newcomer. Apparently, he is the right-hand man of the Shogun himself, and we are told that we should go see the big guy upstairs, as he has a very special assignment for us. Now, despite the fact that we're Ronin, this man insists, and he sends us on a quick adventure to meet the Shogun and to hear what he has to say. There's a quick cinematic that plays next, and it shows us this cutscene of the Shogun telling us to go and fetch a young man of interest for him. It will be our mission to find this young man and to bring him back to the Shogun, because apparently he's very important. And naturally, you know, we gotta win our honor back, so we gotta accept this. And this is where Shadow of the Road throws you into the open world, and it is a real pleasure being able to walk around a forest and just find whatever it is there is to discover. Mostly healing potions though, but those are gonna be very useful for later. You're gonna see what I mean. There's also these things as well that I found while in the woods, these tiny dancing forest spirits dancing in the moonlight. So like, there's magic in this game, but without the game even telling you, like I realized, like, oh, it's magic of the kami, you know, the gods and the spirits of Japan, who in this game, they are actual beings that inhabit the world. And, you know, the emperor, you know, I mentioned it earlier in the video, he's in rebellion against these spirits and the virtues that they promote. And like, okay, like I can vibe with that. This isn't just unnecessary magic added into an already in-depth game. The magic system is actually further honoring Japan's history and culture. I like that. So after a bit of searching around with my party, we found this estate with a rather rude old man who is the boy's father. Or rather, this old guy, he married the boy's mother, who is vastly younger than he is. And the kid, he just kind of came along with the marriage, and that's something that the old man is not really happy about, and he is very quick to tell you about it. It's around this time too, after, you know, finding this estate, that we unlock our first skill point in the game. So, like many RPGs, Shadow of the Road has a skill point progression system where you progressively unlock new abilities to make your heroes, you know, exactly the kind of character that you want them to be. Anyway, we find the kid, you know, chilling out in the backyard by himself, and he's protected by this big, large red samurai who instantly becomes my favorite character. He's just the large, stoic, duty-bound warrior. I love it. However, our meeting is suddenly cut short by Shinobi, aka Ninja, attacking and trying to assassinate the young man. What then followed was the first like proper battle of the demo, and it was pretty long because enemies just kept progressively joining the fight, making it harder and harder. And it was during this conflict that we learn that our young lord, or whatever he is, he's a healer, and now he's a part of our band of heroes, so he's healing people. And that kind of makes sense too, considering if you look at him, he kind of looks like a Buddhist monk. So him being a healer and using like spiritual magic to restore us, you know, the magic system, it's like working, man. Like it fits within like the lore and the world. It's just adding to the immersion. So I just thought this was really cool. This battle takes a little while though. There is a lot of enemies, and even after we deal with them, there is a whole new threat to deal with. The entire estate, it's been attacked. Ninja are running rampant, and our young man, well, he would have been in even greater danger were it not for his mom, who apparently she knows magic of her own that she has used secretly all these years to keep her son safe. She's also really hot. Anyway, oh no, there's this dog, he's gonna burn to death. Wait, never mind, I saved him. I love animals. Suddenly there's another weird moment in the game, like a holy crap moment this time. We run back into the old man as we're trying to escape the burning estate, and the old man, he curses the young lord for having brought this ruin upon his house, and the young monk kid, he starts like freaking out, like, and then suddenly he goes into this like crazy spiritual state, and in this mode, he can't move, but the magic of him, like the pure good magic or whatever, it causes the evil within the old man to erupt outwards, and suddenly there's like freaking eyeballs shooting out of this guy, and there's like this big hovering demon from the underworld that pops out of him, like literally like a demon from the underworld, we're told, and that was really cool. After the creature appears, we are yet again in a big ass battle, and this one is a lot more complex than the ones we've faced so far. We got ninjas trying to attack us. We got foreigners with guns pointed in our direction. We got flamethrowers that are lighting areas of the map on fire. And we got this demon hovering around with like a ton of hit points. He's attacking anyone and anything it can get its face or tentacles on or whatever. And it doesn't help that frickin' Eyeball Satan is putting fire traps on the ground everywhere that explode at the end of each turn. Luckily for my party though, I am as much of a tactical genius as I am humble. And soon, my party was able to overcome all of these enemies that surrounded us. And it is then that the story takes a pretty big shift. So we were originally tasked to bring this young man back to the Shogun, but he's like in a spiritual coma now. So he's like no use to anybody. Like he's just laying around and stuff. Like, look at this guy. Now his mom, she says that nearby there is a monastery that is dedicated to the kami. And that's where the party needs to go because their son needs to be healed. And then in healing him, then the original task can be completed of this young man helping the Shogun. And also she tells us that this affliction is one of his spirit. And so it's going to take the aid of a priest, you know, a spiritual man, to help him. And our two original characters, the disgraced Ronin, as much as they hate to keep their Shogun waiting, they decide, okay, that's where we're going. And that, my friends, is where the demo ends. So if you watched that Rogue Trader video that I made a few months ago, I'm probably about to repeat myself on a few things, but here are my thoughts on this game. Or well, the demo of it, at least. First of all, I love the setting, and I love the way that everything in the game frickin' works, like how it all works together. Guys, I hate it when you have like some awesome like medieval RPG or something, you're having a great time fighting people with swords or whatever, and suddenly there's some dumb magic system thrown into it that completely kills the historical immersion. And strangely, this game does not have that issue. You see, all the magic and the monsters and the enemies and the characters that you encounter in Shadow of the Road, they are all straight out of Japanese folklore and history and culture. And at least for me, that really helped like enchant me further into the world that the developers had created. The second thing that I would say is that turn-based RPGs are just a lot of fun. And these guys, they are masters of the craft. Rogue Trader is a fantastic game. This game operates the exact same way. It is just as much fun, just as much of a pleasure to play. It is great to hide behind cover. It's great to blow up enemy cover. It is great seeing traps on the ground. It is awesome having all these special abilities that each hero can do that makes them all unique. It's a ton of fun. The third thing that I'll say is I love how in-depth the RPG element goes in these sorts of games. These games pride themselves on split-second choices or relationships with NPCs or companions that can either be improved on or brought to ruin depending on how you act and the choices that you make and how you interact with the world. This sort of RPG with all of its choice system and stuff and all of its characters, it is great if you're a role player in spirit like I am. The last thing that I'm going to say is that based on what I've seen so far, the demo really was a lot of fun to play. And I can't wait to check out the full thing when it comes out, because I only got to play this for, let's see, how long did it take me to do all that? Let me actually check my Steam real fast. Yeah, so I was playing for a little over 2 hours. A little over 2 hours of Shadow of the Road, and I really want to play a lot more. I don't know if Owlcat will appreciate me like saying this, but I guess we're gonna find out. But maybe if we like beg hard enough, or I say please seductively enough, maybe they'll give us like a few keys for when the full game comes out, and I could like give out some game keys for Shadow of the Road over on Twitch. But thank you again to Owlcat for sponsoring the video though. It is a pleasure to showcase your work right here on Nixxiom. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the demo for yourself if you want, and if you want to learn more about Shadow of the Road, there is a link down below in the description that you can click. It would be very much appreciated if you did. I will see you all with my next video.